Ronnie Jone, worked for the legacy company Lance that now we're owned by the soup company, which by the way Rich absolutely despised. But I do have a couple of good stories I want to tell about Rich, but also I want to let some have already mentioned about the mentorship. I was a regional account manager, and one of my first customers that I picked up was Scotchman. And I remember my first time coming down to Wilmington to meet with Rich. Now, I had never met Rich, never seen Rich, didn't know who this guy was. I was, just by hearing people talk about him, I was thinking he was about 6'5", 350 pounds, played football for some football team, and, he eat people and spit them out, that kind of thing. I show up, and of course he comes out and gets me out of the lobby, and here's this 5-foot-something guy. And the first place he carries me is to this little, I call it a holding area. Some of you vendors know exactly where I'm getting ready to say. He had a room that you sat in, and in the back of it was pictures hung up on the wall. And it wasn't the wall of Hall of Fame, it was the wall of shame. And it was all these pictures he had taken as he'd gone into stores, and most of the time, if you did business with him, if he found something bad, he'd take a picture and he'd of course, send it to you, but then he'd pin it up on the wall. Well, again, I'm calling on him for the very first time working for Lance, and we did not have the best reputation when I first made that call. And when I got into this little holding room, he went to his office. I'm looking up behind me, and there's about 40 pictures of empty Lance racks. And most of those racks were near the bathroom. So when he comes back in, of course, he's giving me the third degree about why we can't do business with you guys, how bad you suck, and or some other language. I'm giving you the PG version, by the way. And so I said, Rich, I know you don't know me from Adam. I said, but if you'll give me the opportunity, I promise you, we'll change this. And there's some guys in here that back this up, that within 6 months, not only were we doing business, but we had started breaking a lot of sales records. I remember 2 years after that point, we did $1 million with them, and we made a big celebration out of it. And today, we do a really good job with GPM. And it was all because of that one meeting back, unfortunately, I had to say it 15 years ago. And I remember the day that I told Rich that a job had opened up at Lance for national accounts. And I really wanted that job. And he said, well, wait just a second. He got on his little Rolodex phone. He called the VP of sales while I'm in the office, telling the guy, you need to promote this guy. And then he called the president of the company. And then I had to answer that on the way home when I get a phone call from the president. But anyway, that was the kind of guy he was. It's been mentioned about how tough he could be, and believe me, I've been on the bad side of that. But I can also say when my wife most of you know, we had a golf tournament for my wife when she had her kidney transplant. He was one of the first ones to step up to be there. He sent her flowers the day she was in the hospital. I had a bad accident 3 years ago where I severed both patellas in my knees. The very first phone call I got was from Rich Boney, just checking in on me. So, yes, he was one bad dude when he wanted to be, but he also had a tender heart too. And I will say, just like everybody else, he loved people, he took care of people, and I really appreciate him. And I miss him. I've said it many a time. Not only was he a good friend, even though he beat me up black and blue, but yes, I got some of those mows torn. Yeah, absolutely. Especially playing golf with him. That was. He swears everybody cheated. But anyway, here's my two stories on it. The first one actually involved Larry and Martha. Most of you know Rich is a diehard Notre Dame fan. I feel sorry for you, I'm sorry. Me and Larry Lytle are huge Carolina fans. And I had season tickets for football. This was back in 2008, I think. We won, which was even more amazing. So anyway, I invited them to come to the football game. We all get together, we have dinner. Larry said, well, I've got a great parking spot. It's right next to the stadium. Y'all ride with me. So, of course, me and Larry get up in the front, and our wives get in the middle. Well, he's in his Tahoe, and there weren't 6 seats. There was the 5 seats and in the back area. Larry said, Rich, get in the back. You're the smartest. But this is where it gets funny. Rich shows up for dinner for the football game, and he looked like the Notre Dame leprechaun. I mean, he had his little funky hat, his green all the way down, from head to toe. We get going to the football game, and of course, Larry's parking space is right next to the Rams Club, right beside the stadium. Well, we all get out, except for Rich. Larry's got the back lock on the vehicle, and Rich is pounding on the glass to get out. Larry goes around, we're all waiting at the back, and Larry, I loved it. He said, hey y'all, I have caught the Notre Dame leprechaun. And he opens up the back of that tailgate. Of course, Rich comes fired out bad, and I mean, everybody lost it. It was absolutely hilarious. So that's one of my best stories with Rich. And Kathy, I just want to say we love him, we miss him, and thank you for allowing us to come be a part of this tonight. Thank you.